Hello everyone and welcome back. This is Sleep here and welcome to the State of Deadlock, a yearly recap I'm planning on doing at the end of every year, hoping to talk about the current state of the game, what's changed in the past year, what I'm hoping from the future of the game, and some of my general predictions for what's to come in the next year. Next year we'll go over my predictions, see how right I was, and generally just try to evolve on this format as time goes along. But with us being in 2026, let's talk about 2025 and Deadlock. The last year has been pretty interesting for the game. We've had 4 major updates that have drastically changed the game, and the game is in a very interesting spot compared to where it was last year. I mean, visually, just looking at the game, it's night and day. The game looks absolutely beautiful, and the lighting changes, the model changes, like, it's just absolutely insane. But let's go update by update and kind of just like rate the updates and talk about how much I really enjoyed what each update brought to the game, because there's stuff that I like, there's some stuff that I didn't like, and I think this can bring a lot of insight as to what could be interesting to come to the game in the future. First things first, the first update we got in January of last year that introduced the characters Holiday, Viper, Calico, and Sinclair was kind of a major update for the game. The game didn't start properly labeling these updates as major updates until, well, the update that followed afterwards in terms of major updates, but I like to count this one just because of how much it had an effect on the philosophy of the game going into 2025. This first batch of characters this year was a banger. I genuinely think the introductions of Viper, Holiday, Sinclair, and Calico all added a lot to the game in terms of different playstyles, and while I do have some issues with some of the characters in terms of execution, mostly Calico and the direction they took her compared to her Hero Labs iteration, because I got a lot of shit for this opinion, but personally speaking, I actually think turret/summoner characters are pretty interesting for a MOBA like this, and could bring a lot of really interesting gameplay variety. I know a lot of people are really annoyed with stuff like Turret McGinnis and how kind of low effort, low skill that could be, and I do think that turrets generally could be like that, but I think there's also some interesting ways you could do turrets in general. Like, I think Sinclair, for example, has a really good example of a turret done well in this game. Like, having a turret that replicates all of your bullets, and so you actually have to kind of aim with that thing, is actually a pretty cool idea, and I actually probably would have liked something like that with Calico, but instead we got a character that is more of a assassin, big burst damage character, which is fine, but I don't feel like it's as unique as what they were potentially able to do with something like the turret Calico. I think Holiday is actually one of the best designed characters in this game. I think that character has one of the most fun and interesting kits, and while it's not a character that I personally play a lot of because she's not really my playstyle, I can recognize how much she's brought to the game in terms of an interesting playstyle, the way that she interacts with the rest of her team in terms of the bounce pads, grabbing enemies, like the barrel, like every bit of her kit is super cool for the most part. Only thing is, like, her passive is just kind of like but like the rest of her kit is so cool. And I mean, Sinclair, like, this character is so well designed. I love the way that this character interacts with his little turret. I love the way that he interacts with his ultimate. Like, this character will be so cool once we have like a pick and ban phase, and like the way that this character interacts with like different team compositions and stuff. Like, I love how much this character relies on the ingenuity of like the player in the moment, and you're able to just kind of like freestyle your way around. You're able to be like, oh look, there's a Lash in this fight, I could potentially turn this fight around if I could grab that Lash ultimate and like completely swap how the game happens. Like, I've had interactions with Sinclair where I'm playing him and like a Lash will chase me, I'll grab him, throw him away, or I'll have some shit where I steal like a Drifter ultimate, which is usually not like the greatest ultimate in a team fight for like stealing, but sometimes it could be like a pretty decent getaway tool if you could realize that your team is losing. Like, this character has so much flexibility and is genuinely one of the coolest kits in the entire game. And then, I mean, come on, it's Viper. Viper is like my favorite character in the game right now in terms of kit. She's just been my comfort main character that I've been able to go on. She's kind of been my character that's made me realize that I'm an M1 player. Not in like the extent of like, oh man, I like just clicking M1. I like the fact that this character has more going on with her in terms of like, oh, you have so much movement options because of how much stamina you have, the way she interacts with Slide. Like, this character is super fun on that aspect. She has some aspects of her kit that really frustrate me that I think have aged pretty badly with time, that they could potentially fix over time, but overall she's just a great addition to the game, and this update was genuinely a fantastic way to start off 2025. The next update, though, was potentially the biggest for the core game mode of Deadlock, that being the map rework. This completely changed the game in terms of how macro would work. We went from 4 lanes, which had 2 solo lanes and 2 duo lanes, to 3 duo lanes. This was a big change. It completely changed how the map felt. They moved around a lot of assets. They added a bunch of assets. Like, they really started to figure out the vision of Deadlock here, and I think this was for the better. There's definitely been like a vocal minority of people who've been like, oh man, I miss 4 lanes. Oh, I miss the solo lane, but genuinely, you do not. Like, the dynamo lanes into like fucking what would you do if you were playing like Paige into Yamato nowadays on like a solo lane? That just sounds fucking miserable. Stuff like those specific lane matchups just made lane feel fucking awful on some characters. On top of that, I genuinely think the macro is just far weaker in 4 lanes. Like, the way that split pushing was going on, the amount of weird teleporters we had. Not even to mention, like, you would constantly have the solo lanes just go by super quickly and you just constantly get invaded. Like, it felt like lane impact was mostly determined by how quickly someone could finish their lane, and I think that was really, really miserable. And I mean, look at the new structures we got too. The game is really pretty. Like, we have the whole park segment, the giant ass bridge. It's absolutely gorgeous. The next update, though, I honestly don't have too much to say on. I mean, it completely changed how the game felt in terms of itemization. And sure, it added some really good visuals to the shop, but I don't think it was really on the same level as some of the other major updates that happened this year. Like, we had a bit of a meta shakeup. The game looked a little better, but it wasn't like a huge step forward like some of the major updates we've been getting have been. This update will probably be one of the lesser major updates that Deadlock will ever get, just because I don't feel like it really changed much about this game. Nothing really went forward with Deadlock aside from, oh, we're gonna mix up how the game's meta feels a little bit, and yeah, we made the shop look a little better. The next major update, though, I think was a landmark moment for Deadlock. I think this major update, where they introduced 6 new heroes, was probably the biggest major update we got the entire year. I'm talking, we got a rework to the main menu, so now we have this weird lobby system. We got this whole voting thing that had a huge hype train behind it. I mean, Deadlock hasn't gotten this kind of hype since the NDA drop for the game. Like, this was a huge moment. This showed that Deadlock had the potential to actually go and make a mainstream splash in terms of the general gaming sphere, even after that NDA lift. Like, this gave me so much confidence in the release of this game when it actually happens, and that just makes me so happy. And I mean, the Heroes Releases patch 2 were generally pretty good. I do have my issues. I don't think Paige is a very well designed character, and I do feel like Drifter and Victor do struggle a lot from some design decisions that will probably age pretty poorly. But I do generally like the playstyles of a lot of the characters that they introduced here. Like, a lot of the characters here were just fucking awesome. And I mean, the voting system, what a great way to get the community to engage with each other a lot more. Like, we had some of the most fun, like, slander campaigns of all time around this time. Like, that was genuinely some of the most peak Deadlock we will ever get. After this, though, we didn't really get a major update, and we've been in a bit of a content drought ever since. Like, this is being recorded before they do the big major update that's supposed to release in January, so who knows where the game will be when that drops. Fuck, I'm hearing that might potentially be beta, so we never know. But 2025 as a whole was a really good year for Deadlock. Like, that was an insanely good year for development of the game. The game made some really strong strides and genuinely put its best step forward in terms of becoming more and more like a proper full release game. But going into 2026, what do I want to see out of the game this year? Well, first thing I want to see this year is I want us to finally hit that open beta. I'm sick of talking about this game to this very constrained audience. I want this game to be out there. I want people to be able to play it. I want there to be marketing. I want this game to have its full-on, like, oh my gosh, this game's coming out soon. Oh, this game's about to be the next big thing type deal. Like, I want this game to be fucking everywhere. But first, to get there, I want full, finished, everyone is remodeled. I want us to be there. I don't want us having these fucking Neon Prime assets anymore. I do not want to see Grey Talon still rocking this fucking Nerf gun in the year of 2027. I want to be here in 2027 being like, wow, Grey Talon looks fucking awesome. The Viper remodel looks fucking awesome. Oh my god, they added so many characters. Mo and Krill got hit by a car. Like, I want some of the craziest shit happening this year. I want us to get alternative game modes that aren't just ARAM. I want like potentially has to get like goofy modes. Hell, open up the workshop. Have Deadlock finally be the game that opens up Source 2's like workshop and make it the next TF2 or the next Gmod, the next Counter-Strike. Like, I want this to be the game that finally pushes community content forward for a Valve game. On top of that, I would love some new objectives in this game. Hell, I want the map to be done. I want them to finally have the map in a state where, oh my gosh, this game looks fucking visually finished. We're ready to go. Let's go into beta. Like, I want us to be there by 2027. I want us to be able to stream this game and be like, yeah, you can go download Deadlock. Just go on Steam, watch the trailer, fucking hit the download page. Like, I want to be able to talk about this game to people and they know what the fuck I'm talking about. It has been so painful to have to explain Deadlock to people who don't know what it is, just because there hasn't been really a push and you can't really access the game without going through this whole invite process. Like, I want us to be there. In 2027 also, I don't want to be queuing rank 24/7 every time I play this game. I would like some casual games. Give me a fucking quick mode. Give me a mode that like doubles the money that you get constantly. It just allows the matches to go on so much faster. Like, give me crazy Deadlock, fucking super fast mode, so I can play this game and not worry about the next hour of my life just being sucked away. Like, let me have some off games that aren't just me like grinding ranked, because I'll grind ranked. I just don't want that to be all I do in Deadlock, and that's been my biggest issue with the game so far. On top of that, I would absolutely love if they did a rank reset. I think there's been so much weird rank inflation, a lot of smurfing, a lot of weird shit in terms of how the rank is played out, and I think a lot of people are in places that they genuinely should not be, whether it be too high or too low. Give the people who want a proper competitive Deadlock experience a proper competitive Deadlock experience. And while we're talking about it, I'd love an esport event. I would love to see everyone come around for some big Deadlock major. That would be so sick. Being able to fly out somewhere and fucking see a lot of people share their fan art, like go to like an artist alley, watch people compete live. That just sounds amazing. Please, can we get something like that? And while we're on the topic of competitive Deadlock, give us some picks and bans, please. We are reaching the point where there is so many characters in this game. There's counter picks. People know the meta of this game at this point. Please let us be like, okay, I don't want to play against Billy right now. Oh, I don't want to play into fucking Paige right now. Let me choose if I want to ban Mo and Krill. Please, please. Or, you know, Valve, I could like sneak you like a little 100 and you could fucking hit him with a car. But that's just how I'm feeling in terms of what I want out of Deadlock this coming year. Let me know your predictions down below. What do you expect to see Deadlock really do this year? What do you want to see happen this year? What do you want to see in 2026 for Deadlock? But yeah, that's all I really have to yap about. Bye, I guess.